talk about the basketball win, right? Yeah, I didn't get to see them. I heard they must have played good. They pretty lopsided score. What was it?
91-52.
Oh, good for them.
How about for you tonight?
Didn't play well enough, obviously. Thought Cole pitched fine. Might have been a 2-1, 1-1 game if we don't give away some things defensively and wild pitches or pass balls, whatever those were. But they did a better job of scrapping it out, and the lead-off double, lead-off triple, and then that probably would have been the 2-1 part of the game. And it's no mystery that we're scuffling offensively, and it's no fault to the kids. They're working really hard, and maybe that's part of it. They're trying awfully hard, and sometimes when you're trying hard, the ball looks smaller, and you chase more pitches. Or you're just not in a good rhythm, and we'll get there. I think we'll get there. Just the game's not a very forgiving game. You got to battle through it and hopefully get as hot as we are cold right now.
What do you think it's going to take? Just getting something going earlier?
I think two or three guys, and we get 6 walks on offense again, so we're getting some opportunities. So we just got to get some more hits and when it matters. And the 3 hits that we did get were hard ground balls, and that's what we've been stressing in this ballpark. And they did a better, they got to a couple off-speed pitches that Cole threw and hit a ground ball by our third baseman, and leadoff hitter hooks one down the left field line. And so again, the game's not going to feel sorry for us. We're going to have to, I think ultimately, offensively, their pitcher did a nice job. His change must have been deceptive because we were swinging it, even with count leverage, we were swinging it out of the zone. And those are expensive even if you don't put them in play and you're out because you turn counts around on yourself. So, and he's good. Make no mistake about it. He's a good pitcher.
Do you feel like that was almost a make it happen moment when you got the bases loaded, one out there?
Yeah, well, and that's
got the right guys coming up probably.
Sure, and right now, that's what I'm going to tell my guys. It's like if the other team gets 1, it's like 5. It's like, oh, even in the first, you kind of felt like, oh, we didn't get that 0. And that's what happens. Whatever sport it is, they get a touchdown, you're struggling on offense or football, and I don't know. My guys have the will to win, and they're preparing well, and they're trying to play tough, and we just got to stay with that process. Hopefully, we can turn it around.
Cole was throwing really sharply and was really just hurt by a couple big hits and, like you said, a couple small defensive errors. What do you think overall of his performance tonight?
I thought it was good. Yeah, I thought it was really good. No walks and really pounding the strike zone. Might have thrown a few too many strikes, but hard to fault a guy on that. I've said that a lot about Cole. That means it's not the perfect pitch, just outside the strike zone or whatever. But he pitched like a Friday night guy should. He gave us a chance to win, and that's all he can do is control what he does, and he can't control where the hits are or those kind of opportunities. So I thought he did just fine.
Do you tweak anything specifically going into tomorrow to avoid letting the frustration boil over into the rest of the series?
We might. We'll take a look at it. And one of our players was out sick today. Typically, Hagan catches on Saturday, and he was out. So we'll see if he's able to go tomorrow, and that might be one way we do it. And we're trying to find that winning formula without panicking because it's a long season, and you take out some. There's no way to get out of a slump on the bench. And so at what point do you make some changes? We're certainly not putting those guys back out there because we think. We have good players on the bench too, but we think they're good players. They've just got to get it going, and it's contagious. Like Bob said, what do we got to do? Well, 2 or 3 guys catch fire, and then it kind of matriculates into the rest of the team. And easier said than done, catching fire. But we got to start putting some at-bats together, and maybe get a blooper here, or, as they say, a blooper and a bomb, or something like that, something special, and mix that in with some of the walks that we're getting. AJ had a really good at-bat with bases loaded, staying behind the ball, and drove that ball to left for the sacrifice fly. It could have been down the line. It could have been in the gap just as well.
They seemed like they were getting a lot of those, like, just right out of the reach of everybody in the infield hits
Yeah.
today. Were the guys frustrated at all? Like, what was the inside the dugout like?
Yeah, they're frustrated. And that's what I'm going to tell them. It's almost like it's a vacuum in there when we get behind, that the wild pitch or the ball up that we don't catch, and or Brack doesn't throw for a strike, and it's deflating, you know. And you have the will to come back, and then the other team extends the lead. That's our formula, and of course one of our formulas is to win the 7th, 8th, and 9th, and they went picket fence and we went 0. So.
Grayback reached base for, I think they said it was like the 27th straight game today. What does it mean for you guys to have a guy like him? Obviously, I think his on base percentage around 400 or so right now. To have a guy that's at the top of your lineup is just constantly getting on base.
Yeah, that's what he's supposed to do. He's a tremendous defensive player, and he's been a good leadoff hitter for us the entire year. And we just got to get that 2 through 6 going, where we can pass the baton and move him around and score him. You know, Grayback's doing a fine job.